Six Nations 2020 is not too far away. How are you going to watch the games is a good question. I've had a look through some of the main broadcasters who are showing the games, and it struck me as I looked through this list that there's a pretty good reason Six Nations is so popular, aside from the fact that the competition is very competitive, has some good traditional rivalries, but also for the countries who play in the tournament, it is free to air. The idea of watching the All Blacks down here in New Zealand, free to air, barring a couple of games of the World Cup, is almost unfathomable. You have to pay to watch the All Blacks. You have to pay to watch Super Rugby. It kind of goes without saying. So, seeing this list of Six Nations countries with their free-to-air stuff was, I guess, rather refreshing. So yeah, I'll go through the list. And for you guys who are also looking for options, I'll give you a suggestion towards the end, give you a bit of walkthrough. But yeah, it's not an exhaustive list. I will include the list to the Six Nations full list in the description, but here we go. The UK, it's a mixture of BBC, ITV, and S4C, which I believe is the Welsh channel, all of which are free to air. Hoorah, that's happy days. BBC, I mean, when I say free, I think you still need to have a TV license as far as I'm aware in the UK, but like I literally just tested it now, and like online anyway, which you can watch online if you're not watching on a TV, there was an option, do you have a TV license? And if you tick yes, it just starts playing. I don't think there's any checks to it. I managed to get on from here. So, yeah. I did read that those rules on TV licenses are changing in 2020, but there we go. So, yeah, it's on public TV anyway, not a subscription-based service in the manner that I'm used to thinking of. So, that's good times. I'm not sure what the broadcast teams will be like for that. I know if it's got Clive Woodward, that's always fun, but yeah, that's the UK. Republic of Ireland is Virgin Media 1, again, free to air. Some people in Ireland have actually told me that they're still able to kind of get in on the, is it ITV or BBC broadcasts, even from the Republic of Ireland, so either way, you guys seem to be kind of spoiled for choice in that regard. Italy, it's on DMAX, guess what, it is for free. So, yeah, man, it's a good way to promote your game. Australia could certainly use that. Like, I feel like New Zealand, we're kind of okay, and that people will generally pay for rugby. Maybe not so much getting into the future. Like, Super Rugby could certainly use a bit of a boost in terms of more viewers. Maybe making it free to air would be good. Australia is probably a step further in needing viewers, and like, because the rugby league over there, I believe, is at least fully or partially free to air, like with some other rival sports as well. We're fortunate that both rugby league and rugby union are paid to watch here in New Zealand. Fortunate, and that not one gets an advantage over the other. South Africa, likewise, I think kind of people will be willing to pay, but Super Sport, from what I understand, is pretty expensive. Speaking of pay to watch, in Australia and in New Zealand, it's on beIN Sports. In Australia, it's via Foxtel, which is a subscription service, and in New Zealand via Sky. Guess what? It's a subscription service. So if you want to watch Six Nations in Australia or New Zealand, you need to be a subscriber to one of those networks. And I'm not sure if beIN Sports is an additional package or if it's included, but there you go. It's on beIN Sports in South Africa. It's and many parts of Africa, outside South Africa, but the lead country is South Africa. It's on SuperSport. Most of the rugby seems to be on SuperSport. From what I understand, that's also kind of a package deal, like Sky TV here in New Zealand, where you got to buy one channel, then add the sports onto it, which is kind of a rip, but that's what it is. In Latin America, it is on ESPN, the South American version, pay to watch program, so that kind of is what it is, similar to here in New Zealand. In the USA, it's on NBC, and NBC's got various levels. NBC Gold, I think, is the way to watch the live games, and then there's other versions you can get, like cheaper ones to watch, maybe like delayed broadcasts or whatever, but yeah, it's on NBC, so it's a paid service. However, Fiji brings it in with some free rugby. It's on Fiji Broadcasting Corporation's FBC Sports channel. Just like the Rugby World Cup, man, Fiji has got it for free. I need to move to Fiji because apart from some idyllic looking scenery and some very good rugby players, apparently they always put their rugby free to air. So that is good news for people in Fiji. For parts of Asia, but not not all of Asia, some examples, but not all examples. China, Hong Kong, India, Malaysia, Singapore, Philippines, Singapore, Taiwan, South Korea, Thailand. I'm not trying to get into a debate as to the nationality status of Hong Kong, Taiwan, and China, but in terms of broadcast regions, this is what I'm talking about. They're all under Rugby Pass. Rugby Pass is a subscription-based online service. They're pretty good because I think if you get Rugby Pass in those regions, and double check before you go signing up. But I used it when I was in China, and you also got Rugby Championship, you also got Super Rugby, you got Pro 14, Champions Cup, like heaps of stuff. Heaps of rugby on Rugby Pass. So if you're an expat in those parts of Asia, it's definitely one to look into. Like I said, if you're in another place or you want more details, check out the link in the description. That's the official link from the Six Nations website, which is pretty good. It's an exhaustive one compared to the Rugby World Cup's one for all the places that got the rights to those games. So yeah, hopefully if you guys are in one of those places, you are sorted to watch the Six Nations for 2020. It's got the looks of being a pretty good tournament. If not, stick around and I will show you how you can use a VPN to watch. It's kind of what I did around World Cup time as well, because the UK and other countries have it free to air. Those of us with a VPN, you're able to kind of piggyback onto those networks to jump onto the game. So it's definitely another option if you're either not in one of those places or the subscription fees of those services, buying the main package, then adding the sports package and whatnot, are not that appealing. But yep, stick around if you want a demo of that. Otherwise, I'll talk to you guys again soon. See you later. So guys, if you are looking to get yourselves some Six Nations action this year and you happen to live outside one of those lucky countries which has it free to air, maybe the subscription fees are looking a little bit nasty, or maybe you just prefer to watch it online, there's an option for you to use a VPN. So essentially here I am connected to a service called ExpressVPN. I'll just turn it off because I guess just to show you how easy it was to connect to. Just searching a location, going to go for the UK, and it's already chosen. Hit connect. It's going to go to East London because it picks that one as the quickest. There's multiple servers that it's got in the UK. Boom, that's done. And then basically messages like this about the service not being available, which is a geo restriction, those will disappear. So I'm just going to refresh my browser, and what do you know, things work kind of as they should. So just like on ITV's coverage of the Rugby World Cup, if you wanted to find the sports that you're after, I'm just going to pick one here because the rugby obviously is not up yet at this point, but whatever kind of show you want to watch, whether it's live or whether it's on demand, you can just get it here from ITV if that's the broadcaster of that one that you wanted to watch. Here's the ITV version. This is TV Player, which I haven't had a lot of experience with, but from just having a quick browse around it now, it seems to be kind of a hub which has got, even though the other one's called ITV Hub, it's a hub with multiple channels, including ITV and the BBC. So that one seems pretty straightforward to use as well, from what I play around with that I just had. It says live and on demand, but I would say it's probably more for the live stuff. So for example, if you wanted to go to BBC One to watch the Six Nations when it's on, because I think most of those Six Nations games are on BBC One, you can just jump on here and watch the games.
We'll talk about the football
live.
and all the games yesterday in the Premier League, but it's Saracens who are making the headlines in sports
at the moment. But yeah, that one was pretty straightforward. Just like the ITV Hub and just like BBC's iPlayer, all you need to do is give them your name and an email address, plus a UK postcode, which you can just Google, like UK postcode. Just pick a random one, chuck it in, and yeah, you can start streaming the content. The last one is BBC's iPlayer. Again, I signed up for this one just now. Watching some Pro 14 highlights here. Again, it seems to work pretty straightforward. I can't show a live one because there's no game on live at the moment, but the highlights certainly work. Easy enough. And yeah, that's basically it. So if you are keen on some Six Nations rugby, then check the link in the description, because ExpressVPN is it's one that I've used. Like I said, I've used it in China when I was trying to get Facebook. I've used it during the Rugby World Cup, and for me, using it for Rugby Pass's website to get some of the Champions Cup and whatnot, it's kind of been a bit of a lifesaver. So yeah, it's just another option. It's got a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you can test it. It's probably a good idea. Give it a test. Test that it works with your internet connection. Test that you're able to sign up and all that stuff. But yeah, give it a go, man. If you're keen on some Six Nations, you can get on ITV, BBC, TV Player. They're all pretty straightforward. And yeah, like I said, relatively inexpensive. Not too far to go, guys. International rugby is back. Six Nations. Check it out. Cheers.